I'm Teri Allori, a consultant from Barbados, and in May 2024, I walked away from my last six-figure corporate role as head of operations Caribbean to focus fully on a bigger mission. I've spent over 15 years leading teams, building, solving problems, and improving systems. My degree is actually in biotechnology and chemistry, while my background is way more diverse, spanning science, of course, also operations, business, sports, the arts, languages, marketing, technical problem solving, but more importantly, I've lived through the same barriers that so many people across Barbados and the Caribbean are still facing right now. And that's a big part of why I'm making this video. For a long time, I've been sitting on ideas, systems, strategies, frameworks, and solutions. And I reached a point where I couldn't just keep all of that in the background. I'm already building more publicly now, more intentionally, more visibly. And I want to clearly state who I am, what I stand for, and what my mission is. Because this is bigger than content, this is bigger than one business, and this is definitely bigger than me or trying to look like I have all the answers. That's not my style, never has been. I mean, I know a lot about a lot, but I am not here to act like some guru. I'm not here to pretend I know everything. I'm here because I know what I've lived, I know what I've learned, and I know what I've built. And I know what is possible when people are finally given the right tools, the right systems, the right exposure, and the right kind of support. What I see very clearly is a broken gap from both ends. On one side, I see adults, entrepreneurs, creators, professionals, and everyday people who have talent, ideas, work ethic, and potential, but they're blocked by a lack of access, outdated systems, weak infrastructure, confusion around digital tools, and not enough guidance on how to actually turn skills into income. And on the other side, I see children who are not always being prepared early enough for the future they're going to inherit. So, my mission is moving in two lanes at once. The first lane is digital empowerment. That means helping people, especially here in Barbados and across the Caribbean, understand how to use AI, automation, digital platforms, and modern systems to create income, become more self sufficient, and improve their quality of life. You're no longer limited by your location. Just let me show you. Not just theory, not just learning for learning's sake. I'm talking about practical use, real world use, the kind of use that helps people solve problems, generate income, create opportunities, and participate more fully in the modern digital economy. Because the truth is, a lot of people in our region are not lacking intelligence, they're not lacking potential, they're lacking access, they're lacking the right exposure, they're lacking practical translation. They're lacking someone who can say, here's what this means, here's how you use it, and here's how you can make it work in real life, starting with what you have. The second lane is STEAM education, especially for children, with a special focus on science and languages. For those who don't know, STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics. This part matters deeply to me because I do not just want to help people survive now, I also want to help build the future differently. For me, that means giving younger people stronger exposure to science, languages, creativity, technology, and problem solving in ways that are engaging, practical, and bigger than the outdated limits many of us grew up around. That does not mean every child needs to become a coder. That does not mean every child needs to become a scientist. It means they should be exposed to possibilities earlier. They should be taught to think bigger earlier. They should be shown that the world is larger earlier. And they should understand that being from this little dot of an island, Barbados, or the Caribbean does not mean that they are disqualified from innovation, contribution, leadership, or global participation. All of that matters to me a lot because I've seen what happens when people who grow up with talent but too little exposure end up suffering because of it. I've seen what happens when adults are still trying to figure out things they could or should have been introduced to years earlier. And I've seen what happens when people are taught how to learn, but not how to leverage, monetize, adapt, or build. That gap is costing us too much. Now, one of the things I want people to understand about me is that I'm not coming to this from the angle of somebody who was handed perfect conditions. A lot of what I know, I had to teach myself. Coding, websites, digital tools, platforms, systems, workarounds, problem solving across different environments. I got into a lot of this because I had to, because there weren't many options. Years ago, when I first started looking into getting a website built, I remember seeing prices that made me think, absolutely not. I'm not paying 15,000 USD for a website. Not only was I not paying that, but I did not even have that to pay. So I told myself, I guess I'm going to have to learn how to do it. And I did. Was the first version great? Nope. But that's the point. I learned, I got better, I kept building, and it only expanded from there. That is one of the biggest messages I want people to take from me and from this mission, that because it is harder, that does not mean it is impossible. That has been my life experience in many ways, countless ways. Every time something looked blocked, every time a system was not designed with people like us in mind, every time something felt out of reach, I kept finding a way to make it work. And I know I'm not the only one capable of that. That is why I care so much about helping other people see what is possible too. I've spent enough time in leadership to understand that people do not just need inspiration, they need structure, they need clarity, they need practical direction, they need momentum, they need a way in. So I'm not just talking about these things, I'm building around them. That includes the weekly live income lab Q&A sessions I've already started on YouTube, where I've been taking your business questions, doing Q&As and sharing practical guidance. And the next phase of that is what I'm especially excited about, the Live Income Lab challenges. That means actually getting out there and showing in real time how I would approach money making, solving problems, building momentum, and thinking strategically. So, whether that looks like asking, how would I make $100 today? Or what would I do if I had to make $1,000 by the end of the week? I'm going to be documenting the process, the thinking, the testing, the pivots, and the results, because too many people only ever see polished outcomes. I want you to see the thinking, I want you to see the strategy, I want you to see the execution. I want you to see that this is real. And another part of this, honestly, is that I have an ideas bank that could probably outlive me. I've been documenting ideas for years in emails to myself, WhatsApp notes to myself, Google Docs, voice notes, plans, concepts, frameworks, systems. Some of them I'll continue to build myself, sure, but most of them I'll share openly, many for free. Some of them I would be more than happy to see other people take and run with, because I've never been interested in hoarding knowledge. I care more about impact than ego. I care about seeing things come to life. And I care about helping move people and communities forward. So, this video is about me making something very clear, that I'm not waiting for perfect conditions. I'm not waiting for permission, and you shouldn't either. I'm not waiting to be fully backed, fully funded, or fully understood before I move. I'm building publicly, intentionally, and with purpose. So, if you've been watching quietly, if you've ever felt like there has to be more, if you know our people deserve better access, better tools, better exposure, better systems, and better support, you're exactly the kind of person I want around this mission. And I also want to say this clearly. If you have skills, time, resources, ideas, alignment, or simply a genuine desire to help move this work forward, I welcome that. Whether you're someone who can help with filming, editing, admin, strategy, outreach, partnerships, youth programming, community building, or something else entirely, there is room for aligned people. I'm not asking people to just clap from the sidelines, even though that is fine. I'm saying if this speaks to you and you know you have something meaningful to contribute, reach out, connect with me. And if you're someone who simply wants to learn, follow the journey, watch the lives, share the content, tap in, because this is only the beginning. I'm building in two lanes because both matter and neither can wait. Adults need ways to earn and adapt now. Children need exposure and possibility for the future. And I believe both can move at the same time. So, this is me making it plain. This is who I am, this is the mission I'm on, and this is me putting a stake in the ground. Join me.